You've done the work. You've spent late nights staring at the screen until your eyes burned. You've studied the fair value gaps, the liquidity sweeps, and the market structures. You've backtested until you saw the patterns in your sleep. And finally, after months, maybe years of struggle, something incredible is happening. It's working. Your equity curve is actually starting to point up. You're following your rules, you're catching the moves. You are right at the finish line. But instead of feeling like a king, you feel nothing. And that nothingness is the most dangerous thing you have ever faced in your trading career. Welcome to the final stage, the stage that kills more dreams than a margin call ever could. Most traders think the hardest part of this journey is learning how to win. It's not. The hardest part is learning how to handle the silence when you're finally doing it right. Before we dive into how to beat this final boss, if you've ever felt the urge to take a trade just to feel something, hit the like button. It lets me know I'm speaking to the right people. There are 4 distinct stages every trader goes through. Stage 1 is the unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. You're just clicking buttons, gambling, and wondering why the market keeps stealing your money. Stage 2 is conscious incompetence. You've started learning. You know about ICT, SMC, and supply and demand, but you're still losing. The difference is now you understand why you're losing, which almost hurts more. Stage 3 is conscious competence. You've developed a system. You're breaking even, maybe making a little bit of money, but it requires every ounce of your mental energy to stay disciplined. And then there is stage 4, the final stage. This is where trading becomes boring. Not boring because you've lost interest in the money, but boring because you've finally removed the chaos. Your job has shifted from being a market speculator to being a data entry clerk. You wait for X, you execute Y, you manage Z. It is mechanical. It is repetitive. It is devoid of the dopamine rush that brought you into this game in the first place. Think back to your first month of trading. Every position was a cinematic event. Your heart would hammer against your ribs the second you clicked buy. You'd watch every single 1-minute candle as if your life depended on it. When you won, you felt like a genius. When you lost, you felt like the world was ending. You were addicted to the intensity. Your brain was getting high on the volatility of your own emotions. But as you progress into profitability, that volatility has to die. For the professional, a win is just a statistic. A loss is just a business expense. The emotional roller coaster has flatlined, and this is exactly where the sabotage begins. Your brain is not designed for consistency. It is designed for stimulation. When the excitement of the hunt is replaced by the monotony of execution, your subconscious starts screaming. It feels like you're stagnating because the emotional feedback has disappeared. You're making more money than you ever have, but it feels like less because you don't get the hit anymore. This is the final boss. Most traders fail here because they cannot tolerate the absence of drama. They would rather be interesting and losing than boring and winning. Let's talk about the 4 ways this boredom will try to kill your account. The first is taking marginal setups. You've been sitting at your desk for 3 hours. Your system requires 4 criteria to be met for an entry. Right now, you only have 2. But you're bored. You haven't clicked a button all day. So you tell yourself, the trend is strong enough, I'll just take a half-size position. That isn't a trade. That's an entertainment fee. You are paying the market to give you something to do. Every time you take an almost setup, you are diluting your edge and training your brain that your rules are negotiable. The second sabotage is juicing the risk. When winning becomes routine, the dollar amounts start to feel small. You've won 5 trades in a row following your 1% risk rule. It's boring, so you think, I'm on a streak, let's go 5% on this one to really make it count. You aren't doing this because the setup is better. You're doing it because you need to feel the stakes again. You need your heart to race. You are medicating your boredom with leverage, and that is how funded accounts are blown in a single afternoon. The third pattern is strategy hopping. This is the most tragic one. A trader finally finds a system that works. They are profitable for 3 months. But because the system is simple and slow, they start looking at other things. They see someone on Twitter catching 1 to 20. REAR moves with a different indicator, and suddenly their consistent 1 to 2 RR system feels outdated. They abandon a working machine to go back to being a student, just so they can feel the newness of a fresh strategy. They aren't looking for a better edge. They are looking for a new honeymoon phase. Finally, there is over-monitoring. Your trade is running. Your stop and target are set. There is absolutely nothing for you to do for the next 4 hours, but you check your phone every 6 minutes. You watch the P&L fluctuate by $10. You are trying to stay engaged with a process that should be automated. This over-monitoring leads to fiddling, closing winners early, or moving stops to break even too soon. All because you couldn't sit still in the silence of the trade playing out. So how do you win? How do you cross this final threshold? First, you must reframe your definition of success. In the beginning, success was a green day. In the final stage, success is a boring day. If you finished your session, followed your plan perfectly, and felt absolutely no excitement, you have won. You need to start celebrating the nothing days. A day where you took 0 trades because there were no setups is a perfect day of trading. You must guard your boredom like it is your most valuable asset, because it is. Boredom is the environment where wealth compounds. Second, you must find your stimulation elsewhere. This is a non-negotiable step. If trading is the only thing in your life that provides challenge or excitement, you will inevitably destroy it. You need a hobby that is harder than trading. Go to the gym, take up a martial art, start a side business, or learn a difficult instrument. Give your brain the dopamine and the struggle it craves in an arena where it doesn't cost you capital. When you sit down at the charts, you should be empty. You should have no need for the market to validate you or excite you. Third, you must disconnect from the trading scene. Stop looking at the highlight reels of other traders. Stop comparing your steady, boring growth to someone else's curated mega win. The most successful traders in the world are the ones you've never heard of because they have nothing exciting to post. They don't have drama, they don't have insane stories, they just have a boring, beautiful equity curve that trends up year after year. You are at a crossroads right now. You can choose to be an action trader who stays in the loop of excitement, strategy hopping, and almost winning for the rest of your life. Or you can choose to be a professional trader who accepts the quiet, mechanical reality of a profitable edge. One of these paths leads to a great story to tell at parties. The other leads to financial freedom. You cannot have both. The market is offering you a trade. Give up the adrenaline, and I will give you the money. It sounds like an easy trade, but 90% of people aren't strong enough to take it. If you're still watching, it means you're ready to face the final boss. You're ready to stop asking the market to make you feel alive and start asking it to make you wealthy. The next time you feel that itch to just check the charts or take a small gamble, recognize it for what it is. It's the final test. It's the gatekeeper. Smile at the boredom. Embrace the silence. Because on the other side of that boredom is everything you ever started this journey for. Stay disciplined, stay boring, and I'll see you in the next one.